Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of The Choice. I'm your host, Ghost, joined by Ash in America. Ash, how are you today?
Host Ghost.
Host Ghost.
I'm your host Ghost.
I'm your host, Ghost.
I'm good. I really enjoyed this episode, and I watched it twice. And I've watched it a whole bunch of times before because I've seen this show a lot of times. But I watched it twice in preparation for this. Saw a bunch of stuff I didn't really connect dots on before, so I'm excited to dig into it.
Yeah, it was a good episode. One of the shorter episodes, it felt like, but an important kind of like a concluding half to the first episode, while also then introducing us, I think, more to some of these other characters that we'll talk about, who we didn't even get to discuss last week because we spent the episode introducing the show and talking about Mary. But obviously, some of the most important characters are really to the show. Central characters, rather, are further flushed out here.
I'm just looking. I don't have the ad sheet. Do you have the ad sheet?
I do. Okay. Give me a second to.
No. So to your point, what I love about the characters in The Chosen is that you see the different aspects of human nature. You see their different struggles with faith and with coming to the realization of who Jesus is, and it's different aspects of human nature. There's doubters, there's pride and arrogance, there's people paralyzed by shame, and we see all of it. And those are the people that Jesus picks to be his apostles and to be his followers, the people he picks to heal, redeem, set free, deliver. And it's such a great example of the power of Jesus in the world, the power of Jesus over, the human condition.
Yes. Well said.
Before we get into ads, I just want to also say we're not firm on the details of this yet, so stay tuned for the details. But we are planning a crossover episode with Jackie and Bay Theater Dave for the Chosen Christmas special. So there's the Messengers and the Shepherds, and I think we're going to do those two, probably one Christmas week and one New Year's week. So look forward to that and wait for more details from that. But we're gonna have a good time. I'm excited about it.
Awesome. I'm excited about that as well. That'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to doing something with Jackie and Dave. And Jackie, if you're in the chat, just post your most recent episode in the comments so people can go watch that.
I just watched their most recent episode, so I can probably do that if you want to read the ads. Awesome.
It's actually all produced ads, but I will.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can talk about Gart. How about that?
Heck yeah.
So the Great American Restoration Tour, we are going back to Cocoa Beach for Gart 10. Excited to go back to this facility. This is, I think, one of my favorite facilities in terms of the layout. Obviously, you have the beach. You have there is a tiki bar on the beach, and you also had a Space Force space right
this
down.
This is a misinformation overlay.
Oh, this is the old.
So we've got the Zerbos in here, and much to all of our dismay, they are unable to attend, which is understandable because it takes them like 30 hours to get anywhere. And Josh Reed is joining. So we'll get the updated speaker. Jessica's head's probably exploding right now, but we'll get the updated speaker list for next week. And also we have a Gart live stream coming up at 2:30 Eastern times, 12:30 for me. And so we'll see you guys over there. If you've got virtual tickets or in-person tickets, you should have a link to the live streams coming at you probably around 1:00, I believe. So badlandsmedia.tv/events.
Sweet.
We're going to have so much fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited for that too. All right. Well, let's, if you want to go ahead and because we do have 3 ads, we can go ahead and do soft disclosure now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
They say confidence starts with a smooth skin. And baby, soft disclosure lotion delivers.
I swear by this stuff. I kid you guys not. This is the first lotion I've ever had in my entire life that I don't get ashy after I put it on any part of my body. Like my hands are always dry, and my hands have not gotten ashy without like rinsing them through water and washing them with soap since I started putting soft disclosure on. Like it is black man approved. I kid you not.
Black man approved. You heard him. And let's be real. If it can handle his hands, it can handle anything.
Feet are like, they get so dry, like the heels of them, it'll just kind of like flake off. Like, but with soft disclosure, once you put it on, like it starts to absorb it.
Yeah, he went there. Don't worry, we won't show you his feet, but trust us, they're smoother too. Soft Disclosure Lotion is made with aloe, goat's milk, honey, and our exclusive oil blend that actually restores your skin barrier. Visit softdisclosure.com, use code Badlands, and get 15% off.
Love it. If you guys missed Alphas Make Sandwiches on Monday, for the majority of the show, we did footage from the farm, from Annie's farm, Willow Wind Farm, where the soft disclosure is made. And she will be joining us on Alphas Make Sandwiches on Monday to talk about soft disclosure and the products and what goes into them and all of the different sciences. And then Culture of Change Monday evening to talk about the American wool industry. She's a big player in wholesale commercial alpaca fiber. And I was just blown away by the operation that she has. She's a one-woman show, and she's running basically 4 major businesses, and just fascinating lady. So much to share and to teach. So look, if you haven't seen that, check it out, and definitely tune into the shows on Monday, because we're going to have a whole lot more.
That's awesome. Yeah, everyone, please go check that out. Okay, so getting into the meat of today's episode, the episode 2, The Chosen, entitled Shabbat, with the major theme, or the major I guess storyline that's driving it forward, is alluding to the title, Mary's first Shabbat, or at least her first Shabbat after being purged, or the exorcism by Jesus that we saw at the end of episode 1. And so she is setting up to host her first Shabbat dinner while a number of other things are playing out. And these other characters are being more formally introduced to us, to the viewer.
We get a good sense of people's conflicts too, right? So we saw Mary's conflict in the first episode, and the real revelation here is that she has been freed, she's been healed, set free, and delivered. And that comes up in somebody said nice hat. This is from Annie's farm, willowandgoods.com. So check them out.
Hell yeah.
But we see that, but there's a lot of contrast, and a lot of conflict. So we see that Simon has this conflict with the taxes, right? And he's gotten himself into a position where he's informing on his, the Jewish merchants, the fishermen, and he justifies it to himself. He rationalizes how it's okay for him to do it, and we'll get a little bit into that. We see the conflict of Matthew and his family, and his he's been sort of ostracized from his family. We see the conflict that Nicodemus is wrestling with. And one of the things that I think is a really profound moment is when the Sanhedrin called Nicodemus in. And they're like, it's a miracle. You've done a miracle. And he's like, hey, on a second. Let me do a little more investigation. And I think that's because he knows that he didn't do this. Before he even sees Mary or speaks to her, he knows that this wasn't from him. At least that's my take on it. But there's just some really great, you get to know these characters in terms of what their struggle is. And where they're at when they find Jesus.
Yeah, it's a great point. And we really start to see in this episode what I alluded to last week. What the strength of the Game of Thrones writing style was cultivating these really strong characters, these dynamic characters, and then putting them in scenes with one another and letting them just be themselves. And then, there's certain characters that come on screen and you're like, all right, this is going to be like a captivating moment. Obviously with Game of Thrones, it was Tyrion Lannister, right? He was the person that any scene he was in is like, this has a potential to be like one of those viral scenes, right? With this show, I mean, obviously there's a lot of different characters that could apply to because it's the Bible. But the ones that I'm drawn to the most, we haven't even really seen them yet. John the Baptizer, haven't seen him yet. Atticus, haven't seen him yet. But then also Gaius. So Gaius is the one that, or not Gaius rather, but Quintus. Quintus. So Quintus is the praetor. And
I love the performance of that actor in that role.
Yeah, he does a great job. I feel like between him and Atticus, it's like they really do, I think, present a really strong representation of like the Roman mentality, which is not necessarily malice, but absolutely subjugation and absolutely like party of false decorum type. I'm going to like the social incentives here for me to deliver and do my job. Doing my job means squeezing every tax dollar out of this place, wherever it is I'm assigned, keeping the peace, making sure the people are at least happy enough where they're not trying to kill every Roman that they can find. And that is, that's effectively where we are introduced to Pontius Pilate down the road with that dynamic. But Quintus, who made a brief appearance in the first episode when he stops Nicodemus on the road and kind of makes it clear of like who he is and how Nicodemus should respect him.
I don't know if she means like an OG or like G Money.
Well, he is like a G because he's like,
I think he's probably both.
Yeah, he definitely has like the boss energy for sure. Where it's like the thing I really enjoy about Quintus is that there's like an amusement element of him where these little moments, like for example, when Matthew comes to, he wants an audience with him, and Gaius, who I think, having watched the whole show, but you can really start to see it here. He's like developed like a genuine concern, like affection for this kid.
Gaius, you're talking about, right? For Matthew.
Gaius. Who's the Roman bodyguard for guard assigned to Matthew, the tax collector. And there's a genuine, I think, like father-son relationship there between the two of them that Gaius would never admit to. But he is genuinely concerned. He's like, if you do this, like if you proceed, they might kill you. And then Quintus even makes the joke, I should just kill both of you right now, starting with you, tax collector, for wasting my time. But then he's laughing because he's like, I find this kid completely amusing because clearly he's autistic. And we need to talk about that too. There's clearly something like wrong with him from just like a normality standpoint. But at the same time, he seems extremely astute, very smart. He's a very capable tax collector, obviously. So I'm intrigued by him. So therefore, I'm going to like allow this to play out for my own amusement. Like there's that element. There's an ego kind of hubris to it, but that's one of the things that I think makes Quintus like a very captivating performance.
Yeah. And he's hilarious, right? And he's got the right level of arrogance, I think, for the role that he's playing. But you also see that he's politically savvy. There's the moment where the Roman guard says, say your last word, Jew, and pulls out his sword. And Quintus is like, hang on, let's see where this is going. But one of the things that I think is really cool, and the dynamic between Simon and Matthew plays out over multiple episodes and multiple seasons of this show. But in this moment in episode 2, they're both engaging in betrayal. And that's, and it's almost the same kind of betrayal. Yes. So in the first scene of this, there's a little boy, and I thought it was his mom. I read that it was his grandmother, but you're looking at ancient Israelites and they're getting ready to celebrate Shabbat. And the elder woman with him, when they start saying, the woman of valor, we'll talk about that a little bit after we go through the scene summaries. But why do we celebrate Shabbat? To honor our family, our people, and God. And we see all of those things kind of on display in this episode, but also in conflict. And that's that, when you think about what's going on with both Matthew and Simon, they're both betraying their people. Matthew is betraying them by, not just collecting their taxes, but informing on them. right?
Yeah.
Like he's behind the scenes saying, I don't think he's trustworthy. I don't think you can trust him. And, let's catch him together kind of thing. And then Simon, who has a good bit of self-righteousness throughout the series, and I think biblically, but he's betraying the merchants.
Yes.
He's rationalized it to himself that he's doing it to honor his family, right? At one point he says, you and Eden are my responsibility, as Andrew is saying to him, these are our brothers, you're informing on our brothers. And he says, you and Eden. And so I thought that was really interesting, how in the exploration of the first Shabbat that we see in this series, that we see they set up why Shabbat. Well, one, it's commanded, right? Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. It's one of the commandments, but also it's for our good. And you see that later in the series when Simon goes to eat on Sabbath, and the way that Jesus handles that. We won't talk about that right now, but it is that Sabbath is for our good, that rest is for our good. And it's a rest where we turn the camera inward and honor our family, our people, and God. And very cool how this episode came together.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, we'll go through the scene updates.
Yeah. Let's get through the scene. I want to talk about Matthew real quick, and I don't know if it makes sense to play it. I have the scene, like a short excerpt from the scene of Quintus and Matthew, but Matthew, I think, was one of the most compelling.
I'm going to disconnect us from YouTube.
Okay.
If you're watching us on YouTube, we love you and we want you to keep watching, but we also don't want to Ghost and I don't want to be responsible for the channel being taken down again. And so we're going to disconnect because we are going to play clips, but you can find us on Rumble, Badlands Media. We're streaming to X. I see. I don't think you went to, we're going to go over to Pilled and Kick as well, but I am going to disconnect us from YouTube here before we play any clips. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube and you want to keep watching, head over to Rumble, Kick, X, Pilled.net, any of those places you can find us. Bye.